Coming up on the show, Stan Sport FC expert. Friend of the show, Mark Bosnich, is going to join us, Shawnee Omrod, for a Sportsbet market update. But we spoke to Glenn Boss last week, Brian, and we spoke to Glenn Boss about his 3 Melbourne Cups, the victories with Maccabi Diva.
Certainly did.
And, of course, the training performance elite, the horse performance elite, the jockey, etc. But it was only added to by the great, great call of Greg Miles to punctuate and articulate that moment. Well, this iconic performance from Glenn Maxwell, equally to Greg Miles, Ian Smith for SEN, has produced this.
Here's on their feet. And Maxwell hits it high! Can it make it? It does make it! Glenn Maxwell! Unbelievable! The most remarkable thing you'll probably ever see in cricket. Staggering! Absolutely mind-blowing! What a win!
What a win, what a call to nail an iconic moment like that for SEN. I'm pleased to say Ian Smith is on the line from India. Smithy, well done, mate. Thanks for joining the Run Home with Joel and Fletch.
Hey, look, fellas, absolute honour to be with you guys. I'm just sort of sitting here looking out of my room and the 23rd floor of a hotel in Mumbai. I just can't believe it, actually. I spent a bit of time afterwards just reflecting on it with a number of cricketing greats from around the world, and we were like, I think we were pretty much like, when you went to the circus and you saw those clowns that were sitting alongside each other with their mouths wide open, shaking their heads, and they never looked at you. That was us. It was. Where did it come from? I mean, we know that he's a crazy cricketer. He's an absolute freak. I mean, there's all these adjectives and nouns describing him in the last 24 hours, but you just don't believe it till you see something like that. And how he managed to do it at one stage with no legs. I mean, that was just unbelievable.
Yeah, and Smithy, he's sort of like his first 100, he's pretty good, but it wasn't off, like when he got against the Netherlands, he had 40 balls. So he actually got better towards, for his second century. Was it the fact that he couldn't run that he just thought, well, I've got nothing to lose here. I'm cramping up, so I'm just going to take a swing. Is that what you thought?
Oh, I think so. I mean, there was a stage through that innings that he could not basically walk 5 steps. So, he was a run-out candidate, and I think at that point, Afghanistan thought that there was their best chance of getting him out. If he fell over in the middle of the pitch and just couldn't get himself up, they might have a situation where they could possibly run him out. But I think also the situation was so hopeless at 7 for 91. It was almost like a free license for him because, at the very least, he just gets out and adds to Australia's problems. And he should have been out. I mean, he should have been absolutely out at one point when young Majid put him down. One of the simplest catches you'd see in cricket at this level put down. He should have been gone. But I think at that point he thought, hell, why not? And he just started to swing, and it's quite incredible. Once he started to swing, and I don't think he mishit one. That was the most incredible thing to us. When we talk about the logistics of playing cricket shots and how you've got to move your feet and how you got to get your head in the right position. I mean, he defied all those theories because he had no legs. It was staggering.
I think you're right, Brian. Like, the fact that you've got something go against you almost takes the pressure off, doesn't it? Like, you've just got to...
Just have a swing.
201 off 128. And when he turns up to the crease, Smithy, he's facing a hat-trick ball. So they were immensely under siege. At what point of that innings did you think, oh, holy dooly, they may just be able to win this game?
I reckon when they got under 100. When they got to needed under 100, I think psychologically that's when Afghanistan really pushed the panic button. I think that they were sort of living on normality, really, and thinking that he'll make a mistake shortly and we're going to win this game comfortably because they've only got Zampa in the bin and Josh Hazlewood, and they're not going to win it from a long way out. So I think once it got under 100, they were down to double figures. And then he brought it down very, very quickly with, 2 or 3 big overs. And all of a sudden they're thinking, hell, they only need 50 here. And the way he's going, that's 4 overs of batting, 5 overs of batting. We're going to do something, but they couldn't. They nothing to come back at him with. And I'm not sure. I mean, okay, a lot of people are saying, yes, but was Afghanistan, they're a bit of a minnow in terms of world cricket. I'm not sure, having watched a lot of cricket in this World Cup, too many attacks would have been able to stop him last night. I really don't think so.
Just on those so-called minnows like Netherlands and Afghanistan, why all of a sudden now have they improved out of sight, Smithy?
I don't know, because it's not just like one of them. It's every one of them has made a contribution to this particular World Cup. I think they're playing a lot more cricket for a start. They're getting cricket at a higher level, and they've got very good players. What they haven't had in the past is confidence that they can go on and beat the big guys. And they're starting, I think, to realise that on any given day, if they get it right, they're going to be right in the fight. And this performance, aside from last night, this performance by Afghanistan, to be threatening the top four is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. They've played their part in this tournament big time. I know that when they woke up this morning, they'll be disconsolate. They'll be scratching their heads thinking this is one of the greatest moments in cricket we let go through our fingers. But they honestly, when all is said and done, they're not going to win it, but they've contributed a hell of a lot.
Amazing, just amazing stuff. Now, the table is fairly set. So India have pretty much got the competition in checkmate. So they're going to finish first. South Africa and Australia are going to finish second and third, whichever order is irrelevant because they'll play each other. New Zealand at the moment, Smithy, you're fourth. You're in the box seat, so destiny is in your hands. If you don't win, it's probably going to be over. One of those other two teams probably find a way. You're taking on Sri Lanka, which they can't make it, but it's a tricky, trappy game, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the one thing we know about Sri Lanka is they won't be late to the crease. At least never. So we're not.
So, Smithy, just on that.
Sri Lanka,
Sorry,
yeah.
Just on that. Angelo Matthews has teed off. He's had a massive crack at Bangladesh, the captain, the team. And for those who don't know what we're talking about, can you explain to the listeners what happened in that match?
Right. I was watching in amazement, actually. I mean, they'd lost a wicket and Angelo Matthews made his way to the crease. When he got out to the middle, he was still within the legal time. But then he noticed that his helmet had a broken strap once he got out there. Now, that's very rare in itself for you gear to break down on while you're walking out there. But he got out to the middle, and because he called for a strap, he hadn't actually taken guard. He hadn't faced the ball, so he was still under the clock in terms of the clock of making his way to the crease. So one of the Bangladesh teammates said to his captain, Shakib Al-Hussain, look, if you appeal, he's out.
Wow.
He said, what do you mean? He said, the time, he's out. So he said, right, I will. So he went to the umpires and said, I believe that I'm appealing for the fact that he has taken too long, more than the 2 minutes. So he's held up the game to a point where it's illegal, and I'm appealing. And the umpire said, you sure? I mean, Murray Erasmus is a decent sort of a rooster. He said, are you sure about this? And he said, yeah, I'm going to uphold the appeal. He said, are you really, really sure about this? Wow. He said, yes, I'm not withdrawing the appeal. So under the rules of the game, they had to give him out. So first time ever that I can recall anything, and particularly in a game of that kind of importance. And so he was given out, and the world has erupted. Personally, I think it stinks. It absolutely stinks. And I'll tell you something else. Had it been Virat Kohli, goodness cry, I had no idea what the reaction would have been in this country. I just don't know if he would have gone through with an appeal or even considered it against an Indian batsman, because the furor that would have resulted would have been you'd have felt it from where you guys are. So it was awful. It was not good for cricket. And rules are rules, sure, but also common sense and decency. There's room for that in sport, surely.
Smithy, what about the Kiwis? 4 on the bounce now. What's happening there? What do they need to do?
Well, hell, I would say get 400, but that wasn't enough the other day. Good Godfather, where the hell did that guy come from? Jeez. look, we just got to forget it. I mean, we've played really in the tournament. We've played one shocker. We got absolutely dealt to by South Africa, and we weren't in the hunt. But apart from that, we've played some pretty damn good cricket. We've unearthed a couple of good young players, and things have been ticking over quite nicely. We've just on a downward slide in terms of the points table. Look, on most days at the moment, 8 times, 9 times out of 10, I think on an even playing field, we beat Sri Lanka. Problem is the forecast, and you say this and people say, really? The forecast of Bangalore is not that flash. There's a bit of rain around. So that might hurt us. If we lost a point, if the game was rained out, that would really sting us. But at the moment, we're in a situation where it's in our hands. It's in our hands, literally. And you want that in sport. You want to be able to control your own destiny. Well, we pretty much can. Our biggest problem is that we played 2 days before Pakistan play, and I think they're the biggest threat. If Pakistan play England, and hell, they've been great, haven't they, England? They have 2 days to work out exactly the ramifications and their plan of going about it. So all we can do is win and win well against Sri Lanka and make it as tough as possible for Pakistan. At the moment, I'd say we'd be in. But then again, I would have said Glenn Maxwell probably wouldn't get 200 at 7 for 91. So there you go.
Smithy, what's it like India? I don't mean the cricket and stuff.
Yeah.
I just mean the cities you get around in. Are they safe? Like, are you getting out and going to some local restaurants? What does Ian Smith get up to?
Yeah. Well, he's a bar, so I'm pretty close to that. No, honestly, and this play, I hadn't been here 20 years. I played cricket here, I commentated here, but I hadn't been here for 20 years. This is the most remarkable development of the country that I've seen a long time. That the airports and the hotels that used to be, one of the problem areas are now as pristine as you'll find anywhere in the world. Some of the hotels are just staggeringly good. And the airports, the flow of people, etc., has improved so much. It is an easy place to get around once you're out of the traffic. The traffic's still horrendous. You can have for instance, getting to the hotel from the Mumbai airport the other day is a trip of around about 11 kilometres, and it took me 93 minutes. I timed it. So, I mean, it can be a little bit frustrating in that regard. Apart from that, if you just take a deep breath and smile and look out the window and see the sights and the difference from one street corner to the next of how India presents itself, you're not bored, and time doesn't matter. So it's been, for me, one of the most pleasant and fulfilling things I've done in a long, long time. I'm so glad I came.
And we're so glad to have you here on the run home with Joel and Fletch. Smithy, thanks so much, mate. Wonderful call. We'll replay it in a moment for the listeners. I just thought it was terrific, the way you summed up the moment. Congratulations on that, and enjoy the rest of the trip.
Hey, guys, all the best. I really, and I do mean this genuinely, and it's not because I am talking to you guys, but I do believe only Australia can beat India. Oh. Only Australia can beat India. That's what I'm picking. Okay. Hopefully you're right, Smithy. Cheers, boys.
Thank you, mate. Thank you very much. Once again, here's the commentary, because I think it's very, very good. Ian Smith calling an iconic moment for a famous innings.